Hey, greetings everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight on HeSpoke Fashion. Listen, I am your host, Daylon Thomas, and this evening I would like to initiate a conversation about a viral moment that emerged on social media this past week. And it was stemming from the Pivot podcast. Now, unfortunately, this situation involves one of our favorite celebrities, and it has sparked considerable concern. Now, guys, before we delve deeper, I encourage you to take a moment to share this link with at least 5 of your friends, as this conversation that we're going to have, gentlemen, is essential. Now, why is it important? Now, we have observed that many conflicts, arguments, and tragic incidents within the Black community often arise, guess what, over relationships. Now, these circumstances have led to dire consequences for our men, including imprisonment, loss of life, livelihood. And before we move further into our discussion, let's go ahead and share our disclaimer, all right? All right, guys, now that we have reviewed our disclaimer, let's continue. Now, guys, Steve Harvey, the Family Feud host, recently opened up on the Pivot podcast about his viral status and the relentless gossip surrounding his spouse of nearly 2 decades, Marjorie Harvey. Now, let's listen to a clip from the interview of Steve Harvey on the Pivot podcast, all right? Let's give it a look, and we'll be right back.
Oh, man, it's 28. So they in that generation. Mm-hmm. And I asked him, what is it? And they said, Dad, you clickbait. He said, you clickbait. He said, you one of the most viral people in your age group out there. He said, Dad, every clip on Family Feud got you on it. Yeah. You clickbait. If they can take your face and put it on anything, you become clickbait. Mm-hmm. He said, and that's what it is, you know. The girl that runs the Shade Room, who's friends with my kids, they're like very decent towards me. Mm-hmm. You know, they don't put salacious stuff out. They don't let it go, you know. They watch stuff like that. There's people out there, man, I hear stuff about me, man, that just be crazy. Right. I mean, it'd be outlandish. My wife is sleeping with the bodyguard, with the chef, with the driver. How they still driving and cooking? What you talking about, man? What kind of bitch ass dude you think I am, man? I mean, really, man? You really think I'm finna allow this? I be looking at people, man.
That's wild. That's
and people
crazy.
get on there and they repeat the stuff.
Right.
Like I had this one dude got on the podcast that was just talking about my wife, man, using derogatory words and stuff. And I've known the cat before. I found him. I said, hey, man, let me explain something to you. You can say whatever you want to say about me. I really don't care. But that girl right there, she off limits, man. You don't know what she did for me. You have no idea. Her presence in my life, what it has done for me, what she's given to me. I said, now, I'm gonna give you a chance to explain it. This conversation gonna be real simple. And he just said, no, man, I ain't mean it like that. I just use that word. I use the word bitch all the time, you know, blah, 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 blah. So we kind of talked it out and we got to an agreement, you know. But that's the only thing I come for people for. You know, me, I don't care what you say about me. Yeah. My child, man, is 20.
All right, guys, you watched the video. And, you know, I believe there are valuable insights to be gained from Steve Harvey's responses during this particular interview, which prompted me to raise a critical question for our discussion today. And that question is simply this: would you be a side dude for a baddie? Steve Harvey's dilemma. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we're discussing, my friends. Now, guys, it's common to hear narratives surrounding the infidelities of Black men. Guys, I want you to hear this close, which often lead some black women, because of what we hear, they publicly discuss this. And you've heard it and you've seen it for years in different podcasts where women openly discuss the infidelities of Black men. And they discuss these allegations, which can foster the perception, and I will say that it is a perception, that men are more prone to engage in extramarital relationships. However, guys, get this. The reality is that many women also participate in side relationships, although the nature of their involvement may differ from that of men. Now, that's going to be key, and you're going to stay tuned to hear what I have to say about that. Statistically, black men report an infidelity rate of approximately 28% compared to 22% from black women. However, these figures may be misleading simply because of this. Comprehensive statistical data on infidelity are limited. Most research in the United States, such as the General Social Survey or studies conducted by the Institute for Family Studies, provides a broader overview without delving specifically into the nuances of different demographics. Moreover, it is worth noting that when black men are questioned about their infidelity, get this, they tend to respond honestly, while women may find it more challenging to disclose their own shortcomings. Now, what does that signify? I'm so glad that you asked. Now, it suggests that with black women increasingly taking the lead in various spheres, alongside the emergence of the modern black woman, there is a likelihood that you may find yourself in the position of either a side dude or the main dude to a woman who has a side dude. Let me say that again. You may find yourself as the side dude or the main dude of a woman who has a side dude. Now, hear me close, guys. Now, while one role might seem more advantageous than the other, I want to emphasize that the reality may not align with your expectations. You know, if you're the side dude, you think you have the advantage. It may not align with that. And so, guys, you saw in the clip that the king of comedy star, Steve Harvey, expressed his frustration with the wild speculation that has circulated about his marriage, describing the allegations as completely absurd. A side note, guys, I want to ask you, who was your favorite comedian out of the kings of comedy? I gotta know. I mean, just a sidebar here, but who was your favorite comedian? You know what? Let's do this. Was it? Start off with one of my favorite. Was it D.L. Hughley? Or Cedric the Entertainer? I mean, would you go for Cedric the Entertainer? What about no, let's go here. My man Steve Harvey. Not Steve? Okay. What about the late legend Bernie Mac? Let's see. Let me see here. If you guys can tell me, who do you think? Who would you say? I'm going to give you time to think about it. Who would you say would be your favorite? All right, back to our regularly scheduled program, giving you guys a time. You know what? Let's start a little poll here. Let's do a little poll, and we ask the question again. Who would you say? Let's do this poll. Who? Let's see here. Yes. Let's start this poll. Was it? Yeah. Was it Cedric Painter? Steve Harvey? Was it the Mac man himself, Bernie Mac? I want to know. All right, back to our conversation. Now, guys, the rumors reached their peak intensity in August 2023 when speculation emerged alleging that Marjorie had been unfaithful with both the family chef and bodyguard, though no evidence ever supported these claims. Now, Harvey addressed the gossip directly during an appearance at InvestFest there in Atlanta, telling the audience that both he and Marjorie were doing well and suggesting that people simply find better ways to spend their time. Now, during that same period, Marjorie took to Instagram to defend herself and her marriage, sharing even a biblical verse about not retaliating when facing insults. And guys, how many of you would agree that that's something that's hard to do? That simply not retaliating when someone has been insulting you and trying to ruin your reputation, it's very difficult to do. And therefore, it took her with the Bible verse to help her to cope with all of these insults that have been shared about her and her marriage. Now, guys, the speculation continued into 2024 with fans revisiting old clips from Harvey's former daytime talk show, particularly one from 2016 where Steve and Marjorie offered relationship advice to a couple that was dealing with infidelity. Guys, I'm going to take a time to actually see.
Right there, she off limits, man. You don't know what she did for me. You have no idea. Her presence in my life, what it has done for me, what she's given to me. I said, now, I'm going to give you a chance to explain it. This conversation going to be real simple. And he just said, no, man, I ain't mean it like that. I just used that word. I use the word bitch all the time, blah, 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 blah. So we kind of talked it out and we got to an agreement, But that's the only thing I come for people for. Me, I don't care what you say about me. Yeah. My youngest child, man, is 28. So they in that generation. And I asked him what.
Let's see here.
Well, Deketrius and I, we've been together since our junior year in high school. It's been 10 years, but we're not married. We do have 3 kids together. A year ago, Deketrius cheated on me with somebody that he met off of a social media site. Sorry. And it's just been really hard to get over. Our 6-year-old has been really paying attention. The older they get, the more they realize stuff. And so she's been asking questions like if we love each other. He's a great dad, but I just don't know how to get over this, so I need help. Do I stay or do I love from afar? And we live, right now, we're like roommates. He eats in a different area of the house. He sleeps in a different area of the house. So I just really need your guys' opinion on if we should stay together or if we should go our own ways.
Deketrius, why did you cheat?
I cheated. At the time when I cheated, she was pregnant with my third child at the time. And she was working, going to school. And I was kind of seeking attention. And the only attention I was getting was from females online, on the internet and stuff. And I feel like I'm starting to fall into the footsteps like my father, not being committed to one female and stuff. And I want this family to work out because family is everything. Without family, I wouldn't be here right now. But I want to know what can I do so I cannot fall in the same footsteps like my father.
Marjorie, what do you think?
First, let me say this. You get to choose what you want for your life and for your children. If you're okay, your children are going to be okay. And I think oftentimes, you said you've been with him for 10 years and you're not married to him. So my question is, why aren't you married? He said that he loves you, but he hasn't married you, which means you haven't made that a requirement. Because if you make that a requirement and he loves you, he'll marry you. That's the first thing. Now, I will say this. He said a couple of things, that his father did this. We can also use that as an excuse to repeat the cycle that we've seen, or we can say, look, I will not allow my children to have to be statistics.
Right.
You have a daughter, 2 beautiful daughters. What you don't ever want is your daughters to have daddy issues, looking for someone that's going to treat them right because of a void that they've had in their life. And what you don't want is your son to repeat the same cycle and do this to somebody else's daughter.
Right. So
you have the power to change. Now, you've got to say, is this the woman that you're going to change for? So.
Katie, what happened?
Well, Deketrius.
All right. Now we've watched that video clip. And you know what? People are so, really don't have anything to do. But some viewers analyzed Marjorie's words during that episode. They were looking for hidden meanings about her own marriage. Now, I suppose there were certain things that Marjorie stated when giving advice to this couple that some could possibly construe as being indicative to her own challenges within her marriage to Steve. For instance, when she said to Katie, you don't want, as a mother of two beautiful daughters, for your daughters to have father-daughter issues, looking for someone who's going to treat them right because they've had a void in their life. Now that's a very good statement, a very powerful statement, and very powerful advice. And guys, we know we've dealt with some women who've had some daddy issues. So very good advice there. But let's delve deeper into this statement, as it may reveal additional insights. Now, it is reasonable to suggest that those analyzing this video for clues about the dynamics of Steve and Marjorie's marriage have pointed to this remark, proposing that Marjorie implies it could explain her daughter Lori Harvey. Her daughter Lori Harvey, right? It may explain some things about her. You know, because she does have a pattern, or as the old folks say, a pattern. She has a pattern of serial dating, right? She does. Now, the implication is that Marjorie's decision to marry Steve occurred at a crucial juncture in Lori's life, potentially limiting Steve's ability to establish himself as a father figure, which may have influenced Lori's subsequent behavior. It's far-reached, but this is what they're going with. So, fellas, let me ask you a question since we're on the subject of Lori Harvey's dating. Now, which of Lori Harvey's relationships did you believe had the greatest potential for longevity, both in the past and the present? Let's deal with that. Which one did you believe? You know what, guys? Let's do this. Since we're having fun tonight, let's start another poll. Yeah, I think I want to do that. Let's start another poll here. And let's start here with... you know what? I'm going to not do a poll, but I'm going to just ask the question here. And you guys can help me out. Let's see. Oh, you guys got that? Let's do this again. Let me see here. Now we can do the poll. Let's do the poll. All right. Let's see. Let's start with this poll, and you guys are going to be able to help me out by answering this question here. And I'm going to roll with it because we have a bit of a there's a laundry list almost, or grocery list. My goodness, of potential date that she, guys that she dated. Let's see here. And then as we answer these guys, because I can't do them all, so we know we're going to take the first 4, and you guys going to answer that for me. All right. Yeah, there's a few of them here, guys. All right. Yeah, there's a few of them here, guys. There's a few of them here, and so just give me a moment here to. So give me a moment to add these. And we're going to start the poll now. All right. Okay. Guys, help me out here while you're there in the poll. I'm going to help you out on this end because I want to start to see who we think would be the best one. Which guy did you think? I mean, let's be honest. Let's be honest here. Which guy did you think? Did you think that this young man, Memphis Depay, did you think that she would have longevity with Memphis Depay? All right. What about this young man here, Lewis Hamilton? How many of you thought that Lewis Hamilton made, they made a good couple? All right. Not Lewis. What about Trey Songz? This goes out to the big girl. He had that vibrato in his voice, right? That brother, I don't know what songs he sings right off, but I know that he had that vibrato in his. All right. Well, do you think it's no? Maybe not Trey Songz. Yeah, maybe not Trey. What about Justin? Justin Combs. Okay, you guys deal with that. Justin Combs was that. Oh, I know this guy's not gonna get any votes, so I'm not even gonna add his name to the poll. But we see Sean P. Diddy Combs. No Diddy. We know he wasn't gonna be on there. But what about this guy? What about him? What about Future? I mean, now, I don't know if you guys were aware of this particular guy or not, because I wasn't. But the internet said that Abu, hey boo boo, Abu Thiam. And if you guys don't know who that is actually Akon's brother, a heavyweight in the industry, from what I'm told. Not Abu, hey boo boo, not him. All right, guys, what about the current? No, wait a minute. No, that's not the current. This is Michael B. Jordan. Well, I mean, I did think they made a great couple. I mean, of course, I'm not in the relationship, but just looking at them together, I thought they made a great couple. No? Well, last but not least. Now, I hear back and forth, right? Some people say they're together. Some people say they aren't. Who knows? But I'm telling you, I think they look great together. I think they look wonderful together. Moving on. Now, that perspective, to me, seems inaccurate, right? It doesn't seem likely that would be the case, that it would just be something to deal with Lori that she was alluding to during that interview. And I'm speaking of Marjorie Harvey. Now, while Lori has been associated with several bachelors, this behavior to me is typical for many young women. The key distinction is that her public persona subjects her relationships to be under scrutiny. Plain and simple. However, Marjorie shared an intriguing insight that may indicate potential issues in their marriage. Now, she mentioned to Deidre, I think that's the guy's name, Deidre, she said, you have to decide if this is the woman you are going to change for. That was her statement. Now, fellas, I don't know about you. But looking at this gorgeous woman right here, I would say that his decision becomes quite straightforward. And I'm talking about Steve Harvey. And I believe many would agree that her beauty is complemented by a keen sense of fashion and style, which, it enhances her overall attractiveness. Now, guys, this is a crucial aspect that I feel many women overlooked as they mature. It is not solely about possessing an inviolable figure or a pretty face accompanied by an engaging personality. Rather, it's about the overall presentation. Now, to me, and this is to me, the concept of packaging is essential. One cannot be considered the complete package without it. So a noteworthy lesson, guys, that we can draw from Marjorie Harvey is that true attractiveness encompasses not only inner qualities, but also how one presents themselves. Guys, it's just like the other day when I was walking into the barbershop. Now, I know you said, well, for what? But for a beard trim. There was a young lady who paid me a compliment. And I was so preoccupied with determining whether my barber had left for the day that I initially overlooked her. However, upon engaging with her, I recognized her undeniable attractiveness. Yet, I found myself not personally attracted to her. Now, guys, help me out here. Have you ever experienced that situation? And by that situation, I mean that you acknowledge a woman's attractiveness without feeling an attraction or connection to her, if you will. I mean, have you ever experienced that? Let me hear from you in the chat where, you know, the woman was attractive and maybe she felt that you were attractive, but you were not attracted to her. There was no connection there. Guys, that was exactly what happened to me in that moment. And I could not put my finger on the reason why that happened. But just as I am revisiting that moment right now, I think I now know what it was. I think it was the fact that while her packaging was appealing, it simply wasn't suited to my preferences. Now, that's a whole lot right there. Because someone could be attractive, and they could be attractive, and this is something I believe that men, we have to explain sometimes to women because they see what we see. As a matter of fact, sometimes they see it before we see it. And by it, I mean they see the attractive woman and they know our type and they think they do. And so when they see that particular woman, they're watching us. And they'll watch it and they say, okay, yeah, that's his type. I know you were looking, and you might say, hey, I did look, but okay, she's attractive, but she's not attractive to me. I'm not attracted to her. That's a key statement. I'm not attracted to her. And you know what? My father would always tell me, he would always say, you know what? Nobody can make me buy a car that I don't like. You can mark the price down. You can tell me how beneficial it is. You can tell me all the accessory and the package that it has. But if I don't want it, I won't buy it. You can't make me buy something, a car that I don't like. And so in this sentiment, in this case, in Marjorie's case, she embodies the complete package and is undoubtedly the right match for Steve Harvey. Now, guys, if I was sitting in the church setting right now, I would tell you, I would encourage everyone to turn to their neighbor and say, neighbor, it's all in the packaging. That's right. That's right. It's all in the packaging. The packaging may look great, but it may not be your preference, and that should be all right. Let's continue. Now, if I were inclined to initiate a rumor concerning a controversial aspect of another person's relationship, this statement could imply underlying tensions that merit further investigation. Because in all actuality, Marjorie's words hint at the complexity often found in relationships, where personal growth and compromise play significant roles. Guys, the notion of changing for someone implies a dynamic where one man may feel pressure to alter aspects of themselves to meet the other's expectations. Now, this can lead to a delicate balancing act between maintaining one's identity and fostering a harmonious relationship. Now, despite the ongoing rumors, 2024 also saw this couple, yes, also saw this wonderful couple celebrating their 17th wedding anniversary with affectionate social media posts that seem designed to dispel divorce speculation. Guys, I would not know how it would feel to be under the scrutiny, the microscopic or telescopic view of scrutiny concerning my relationship, or even deeper relationships than that. How to live under that has to be something that it takes a special type of person to be able to do that. But they had to do that in order to dispel divorce speculation. And I assume that those things happen all the time. People are always speculating what's going on in their marriage. Now, they appear united in their public presentations, though both had reduced their social media activity during the height of the gossip. Now, I think that's very wise. Now, why would you say that? I say that when people are talking about you, it's a good thing to not give them anything to talk about. Stay off of social media. If you're having a problem in your marriage, stay off social media. In your relationship, stay off social media. Don't go to social media to air out what's happening in your relationship. Do you guys know exactly what's going on with Cardi B and Offset and Stefan Diggs and all of those things? Yes, you do. Why? Because she's been talking about it. Where? In social media. At the height of the gossip, they toned down their social media activity. And that was wise to do. Now, in that clip from the Pivot podcast, as we move on through our discussion, Steve mentioned hearing crazy and outlandish claims about his wife. Remember, being involved with various staff members, responding with disbelief. And he said, and I quote, "My wife is sleeping with the bodyguard, with the chef, with the driver. How they still driving and how they still cooking? What are you talking about, man? What kind of dude do you think I am, man?" Unquote. Now, I think that's funny. How they still driving? If you doing all that to my wife, how you still cooking? You the chef? Oh, no. Now, guys, this interview, one of the things that I love about Steve Harvey, that many of Steve Harvey's fans believe that his defense of his wife, along with the wisdom he has shared in the face of personal loss, solidifies his status as one of the most respected voices within the black community. And guys, I'm going to be for real. I think because of that, he deserves a round of applause. I think that he does deserve a round of applause. Now, guys, listen. Commenters like this one shared, "Steve really is a national treasure. He reminds me of my uncles. Solid advice from the right place, his heart. And his heart is pure." Now, lived experience, testimony, truth is what mentorship is all about. This helped me pivot. Now, that person said that. This commenter said this. "This was such an awesome interview. I love everything about this Steve Harvey interview." All right? There were other commenters. This commenter shared this. "I don't care what anyone says about Steve. Steve Harvey is modern day Boaz." Now, guys, are you familiar with the story of Boaz? If you're not, I heard that the movie Ruth and Boaz is playing now. I heard it was pretty good. Might go check it out. All right? Listen, there's another commenter. This commenter said this. "Never a dull moment on this show. Very entertaining episode." Now, guys, I must be honest and truthful, because amongst the positive of this interview, one significant aspect that may have gone unnoticed is the unveiling of Steve Harvey's dilemma. Now, guys, this is what you wanted to talk about tonight, and this is what our discussion is about. So let's delve into this issue. Now, His predicament became apparent when he posed this question. He said, "What kind of man do you think I am?" If his wife were involved with the bodyguard, the chef, or the driver, it would imply that he is the type of man willing to accept either being a side dude or allowing Marjorie to have a side dude while remaining married to her. And this brings us to our central discussion. Would you be a side dude for a baddie? Now, considering what we now know about Marjorie and her very comprehensive appeal, would you be prepared to relinquish her entirely if she chose to pursue a relationship with someone else while still involved with you? I mean, listen, is the woman just that fine that you said, listen, I would rather have half of you than to have none of you? Now listen, before you answer that, we must conduct a litmus test to determine if you may have inadvertently entered the side dude category. You don't even know it. You don't even know that you're there. And so we got to see if you're in that category. But guys, listen, before we proceed with our litmus test, because we got to examine this, right? Let's examine some women who could be classified as baddies. Now, I would argue, now this is me, that a baddie ranks no lower than an 8 on a scale of 1 to 10. And guys, let's define that term baddie, what a baddie is, because, you know, people have different definitions, but let's define it for our conversation, all right? So a baddie is defined in 2025, see, because they have, these words have evolved over time. So a baddie is defined as a woman who embodies confidence, style, ambition, and financial independence. Now, the term has evolved beyond mere physical appearance to encapsulate a mindset centered on self-empowerment and authenticity. Now, the baddie archetype now celebrates women who boldly express themselves, whether they are elegantly dressed or casually attired in sweatpants. Now, guys, that's a good working definition. So with that definition in mind, while some may reference figures like a Cardi B, a Megan Thee Stallion, or Glorilla, some might even say Sexy Red. But since this is grown man talk, grown man, I would like to focus on different examples for this discussion. So first of all, I would say women like Nicole Murphy, in my opinion, would be considered a baddie. Yes. And then I would say, I mean, need I say more? Tracee Ellis Ross. Guys, tell me, what do you think? What do you think? What do you have to say about Tracee Ellis Ross? I would say she don't work at the Players Club no more. She don't work there. But I would say she would definitely be considered, in my humble opinion. And then, guys, Melissa Ford. Come on. I mean, she was an 80s, 90s baddie, and she's still bad, in my humble opinion. And then I would also say, I mean, you guys remember Free, right? From 106 in Park? Yes. I would consider her even today. And then there's this young lady. Oh, wait a minute before. Let's go with. Yes. I know many of you probably don't pay her much attention, but I do. And I think she's a baddie. Regina King. Yes. She's come a long way. I don't know if you guys watched her in those shows, but you got to give her props. Let's look at someone else. Now, guys, I don't know. You probably don't know who this is, and I really don't know this young lady. You probably aren't familiar with her, but she definitely is a baddie. She's on IG. That's all I know. She's on IG, but she's a baddie. Now, guys, that's just my list. You may have your own. But remember, if we're going to say and define a baddie, they have to be on our scale of 1 to 10. They have to be an 8 and above, 8, 9, 10. Right? Now on to our litmus test. Okay? Our litmus test this evening. Now, if you find yourself engaging in any of the behaviors depicted in the accompanying image or images, it is possible that you have already stepped into the realm of the side dude. So let's look at the stages of a side dude. Are you guys ready? All right, I'm ready. Stage 1, 5:17 p.m. What are you doing? You're waiting for a text response. No. A response. You text them, and you're still waiting at 5:17 p.m. All right? Next, 7:13 p.m. and you read a stat that says just now. They just now reading your text from 5:17. We got that, right? Okay. Now, let's see what else happens. Still waiting, 9:08 p.m. But you attempt to sleep it off. Guys, I'm telling you, let's be honest. It happens to the best of us. Don't be ashamed. It happened to you, right? But then, I mean, when this part happens, it's morning. You still haven't got a text back. Listen, you may just be a side dude already. Listen, guys. We've outlined the stages of being a side dude. And listen, it's okay. It's okay if you found yourself in this side dude category. There is no shame in acknowledging this role if you have indeed found yourself in it. No, for real. There is no shame.
Stop the cap.
I'm saying there's no shame. I mean, what'd you say, Grogu? Okay. Yeah. He said I'm capping too. Listen. The more pressing question now, if you found yourself in that role, is whether you will choose to remain in that position after engaging in our discussion on this topic, right? And the topic again. So let me begin this segment by posing the following question to all of you, okay? And that question is simply, does your behavior toward the woman you consider a baddie mirror that of this individual? Okay, so let me prepare because we have Let's watch. All right, guys. So do you have some similarities? Because in this clip, it is evident that Mr. Side Dude is taking her shopping after her main dude expressed that he could not afford to do the same. Now, guys, it is perplexing for me to consider why any man would willingly assume a side dude role to another man in pursuit of the same woman. Well, you're pursuing, they already have her. Now, perhaps it is just that he finds joy in being able to offer something that the main dude can't, or maybe he values the connection he shares with her regardless of the title. Now, it could also be that he sees this as an opportunity to eventually win her over completely, believing that his actions will speak louder than any label. Playing the long game, I see. All right, nonetheless, what remains unseen are the dynamics at play in this situation. Because on one hand, the woman faces minimal risk should she be discovered. She retains the option to pursue her relationship with either the main dude or Mr. Side Dude. But conversely, I believe the side dude is in a precarious position, facing high risk with little reward. Now, why would I say that? I say that because a side dude is not just a secondary partner in an open or polyamorous relationship. A side dude usually knows or accepts that the woman already has a primary man and he exists in the shadows of her relationship. Now, guys, for me, that carries a unique psychological profile. Why settle for a fragment of a relationship? Why would anyone want to settle for a fragment of a relationship? Settle for half a woman. Settle for half a connection. Half a heart. When one could seek a complete partnership with a woman who is fully committed, and also ready to offer her whole heart. Why would anyone want to do such a thing? I'll tell you why. This prompts me to pose what I consider an important question to all of you. And here it is. What psychological mindset does a man possess who desires to be a side dude for a woman or to a woman? Now, Steve Harvey in his interview asked the question, what kind of dude do you think I am? And now we're asking, what type of mindset do you have to be a side dude? Now, guys, the primary mindsets that a man in this role may possess are worth examining. And I encourage you to reflect on whether you embody any of these qualities. Firstly, there is the mindset of low priority acceptance. Low priority acceptance. Now, this attitude signifies an acknowledgement that one is not the main man in the relationship, resulting in the acceptance of limited access to her time. Now, this acceptance may stem from low self-worth or alternatively, a comfort with reduced responsibility. Simply, some men prefer the absence of full commitment, enjoying the freedom that comes with it. Now, secondly, we encounter the man who seeks validation through competition. For some, the notion that a woman would jeopardize her existing relationship, hear me close, guys, to be with them serves as a testament to their own desirability. Now, this mindset reinforces their ego as they perceive it as a conquest. She has a man, yet she still desires me. So this competitive validation fosters a conquering instinct, right? That she desires me over him. And she's taking a risk to be with me while with him. So I have conquered. But guys, then there's the third mindset, which involves possible resentment or hidden desire. And this is one I believe you have to be careful about. Because not all men in these side dude roles find satisfaction. Some harbor a longing to be the main man. They want to be the main guy. And this creates an emotional landscape marked by yearning and frustration, which become increasingly unstable over time. Listen, you don't want to be in this situation because this man may eventually become a crash out. That's right. He may eventually crash out. Because such individuals are often at risk of a breakdown, potentially directing their feelings, get this, toward either the woman. So listen, sis, you might be in danger if you're playing two men, because one may eventually crash out. He has a hidden agenda. He really wants to be the main man. And so he may crash out either towards you or the main man. And guys, you don't want to be in that position. You don't want to be in the position of having to fight over a woman that you may be having trouble with already. But the side dude really wants her. You're on the way out and he don't know it. But he wants in and he's willing to attack you in order to have her. You don't want to be part of that. And women, why would you want a man to be part of that either? Why would you want that? But men, I want you to be smart. I want you to be wise in this season, because as we know, women are emerging in positions in corporate America, in entertainment, in sports, in every facet of life that we have never seen at a rate like this before. And it's a great thing. It's wonderful. The equality and equity is wonderful. But where does that place you? Be smart, be wise. Don't be a side dude. Lastly, we have the mindset of moral compartmentalization. Moral compartmentalization. And that is simply to maintain their position. These men often suppress feelings of guilt associated with undermining another man or destabilizing a relationship. Consequently, they rationalize their actions by asserting, if she chooses to cheat with me, it's her decision, not my responsibility. Now, it is evident that any man who chooses to be a side dude to any woman is exhibiting troubling behavior. Such a man ultimately lacks trustworthiness and embodies an egotistical mindset, serving as a potential emotional liability. Eventually, he might crash out. He may have resigned himself to a lesser role, accepting what is offered rather than pursuing what he genuinely desires. And so, guys, I urge all black men to refrain from settling for the position of a side dude. Guys, listen, hear me close. There are numerous women available, and no individual should monopolize more than her fair share of attention and affection. You deserve better than this situation. Now, guys, to illustrate my point, I would like to conclude with a brief story, all right? Guys, there was a guy named Marcus. And Marcus was sharp, confident, and he was used to getting what he wanted. When he met Tasha, oh man, her smile lit up something in him that he hadn't felt in a long time. The only problem, she already had a man. Tasha didn't hide it. But Marcus convinced himself that if he played the role of the side dude long enough, she'd see he was the better choice. The guys, at first, the late night calls and secret meetups made him feel special, like he had an age. And he told himself, her main dude won't last. I'm the one she really wants. But then, guys, weeks turned into months and nothing changed. She laughed with him, leaned on him, but guys, always went home to someone else. Guys, the truth cut deep. He was just her second option. And when he finally realized it, the rejection hit like a blow to the chest. He started spiraling. Nights of drinking, mornings of staring at the ceiling, feeling like he was not enough. Guys, depression crept in, whispering that he'd been a fool to believe love could come through lies and have truth. Guys, one Sunday, barely dragging himself out of bed, Marcus wandered into a church he used to attend as a boy. He sat in the back, arms folded, trying to blend into the crowd. Guys, that's when he met Jasmine. Now, Jasmine, she didn't come at him with judgment. No, not Jasmine. Guys, instead, she listened. She really listened when he opened up. She reminded him that his worth wasn't tied to whether someone picked him or not. Over time, Jasmine showed him something different. You know what she showed him? Loyalty, respect, and a love that didn't need to be shared. Guys, for the first time, Marcus felt what it meant to be truly valued, not as a backup, not as a thrill, but as a partner. Looking back, he realized the pain had been necessary. It taught him that shortcuts to love always led to dead ends. I'm going to say that again. Shortcuts to love always led to dead ends. And sometimes he noted that God allows heartbreak to clear the path for the one who was meant to walk beside you. Good God Almighty. What's the moral of this story? Guys, settling for being someone's second choice in love will always lead to emptiness, because genuine love requires loyalty, respect, and inclusivity. Now, when you place your hope in a situation built on secrecy and imbalance, you set yourself up for heartbreak. That's right. Now, guys, I hope you enjoyed this show. And I would like to present a challenge to all black men who are presently in the role of a side dude. I want you to imagine for a moment that you are the main dude. And I want you to think about how it is you would feel if you found out that your woman had another man. I want you to feel how the time, even the emotions that you have invested, were of no value to the woman in whom you invested them. Now, guys, I want you to imagine, I challenge you to imagine seeing her with the one that she was spending time with outside of you, while still with you. Are you uncomfortable yet? If you're not, there's something broken in you that only Jesus himself can heal. All right, guys, listen. That's all I have for you tonight. I hope you enjoyed this show. I want you to have a good night, good fashion, and remember, HeSpoke Fashion to you. Guys, listen, if you haven't already, take the time to hit the like button. Hit the like button, if you will. Please hit the like button. Give me a thumbs up. Only if you have enjoyed this show. Again, I wish you well. Good night, good fashion, and remember, HeSpoke Fashion to you. See you next time. I hope you return to join us. All right?